And welcome to This Is Now. This morning, city officials unveiled a new notification system for critical alerts around Oahu. Honolulu Mayor Rick Blangiardi, along with officials from HPD, HFD, and the Department of Emergency Management, announced the debut of H&L Alert. Residents and visitors are encouraged to sign up for real-time alerts that provide info on emergency incidents, road closures, and severe weather.
Everybody who signs up for the system will automatically receive the most urgent severe weather messages and the most urgent disaster information through the system.
H&L Alert is a major step forward for us in improving public safety and emergency communication for our island community. There's only so much we can do as a government. We need the people to be engaged. We need the public to take responsibility by signing up and staying informed, and we cannot stress that enough.
Those interested can sign up at hnlalert.gov or text H&L Alert to 888-777. President Trump has declared this Wednesday, April 2nd, Liberation Day. That's the day he says he is going to put in new tariffs on countries around the world that tax American-made products. Nicole Skanga has more details from the White House.
President Trump is preparing to announce a new round of tariffs on imports, pushing back against countries with their own tariffs on American-made products.
You'd start with all countries, so let's see what happens.
The president is set to announce the reciprocal tariffs during a Rose Garden event on Wednesday. And that's just one part of new trade policies taking effect this week. Thursday, the U.S. begins a 25% tax on all imported vehicles and auto parts.
The people that are going to make money are people that manufacture cars in the United States. Outside of the United States, that's going to be up to them. I don't care too much about that.
Trump administration officials say the new tariffs will bring in more than $6 trillion over the next decade.
It's time for reciprocity, and it's time for a president to take historic change to do what's right for the American people, and that's going to take place on Wednesday.
The president insists companies, not consumers, will be hit with the import tax hike. But in a new CBS News poll, 72% of those surveyed say the tariffs will result in higher prices in the short term. Nearly half say that will be true in the long term as well.
We've had people make very quick decisions to buy a car because they're concerned about the tariffs.
The Trump administration says the taxes are needed to bring manufacturing jobs back to the U.S. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, the White House.
Well, a wave of takedown Tesla protests were held across the country this weekend, including at Oahu's Tesla dealership in Waikiki. Members of the community rallied in front of the store on Sunday with a call to boycott brands associated with Elon Musk. They called for those to sell Tesla stock, trade in vehicles, and delete X accounts.
People are out here today to demonstrate against cuts to recent federal positions. We're out here protesting for the cuts to the Veteran Administration. We're out here protesting our cuts to our education. So what you're seeing is people are really responding to an unelected official having too much power in our federal government.
I think he's doing a great job because we know where all the corruption, all the corrupted money going to. So I think he is doing a great job, and they just need to let him do his job because that's what he's doing.
Video shows at least one person was taken away in handcuffs. A witness says he saw a counter-protester assault a man who was attempting to place a sticker on a pole.
There was a little bit of a verbal confrontation, followed by the counter-protester punching the male in the face. It was a little alarming just because I think up until this point, I think both sides have been relatively peaceful.
We've reached out to HPD for more information on the arrest, and we'll keep you updated on air and online. The massive earthquake in Southeast Asia on Friday has killed more than 1,700 people. Most of the dead are in Myanmar, near the epicenter of the quake. The military government there is asking for help while time is running out to save survivors. Anna Corin has the latest.
Lying on his stomach, aided by torchlight, the rescuer detects signs of life. It's been days since a deadly earthquake struck Myanmar, but remarkably, this woman is lifted out of the rubble unscathed. She was among a handful of survivors to be rescued, along with this man, sandwiched between slabs of concrete.
Hello.
But they are the lucky ones, as building after building in Myanmar's second largest city, Mandalay, and beyond, lie in ruins. Damaged roads, bridges and downed power lines have made it impossible for rescue teams to reach communities in this impoverished country. Engulfed by 4 years of civil war since the military junta seized power in a coup. Hours after the earthquake, reports the junta carried out airstrikes in rebel-controlled areas that had also been impacted, adding to the misery. So far, China, Russia and India have responded with humanitarian aid and teams on the ground, along with other regional neighbours. President Trump said the US will be helping. But once the face of international disaster relief, the US government's cuts to USAID and State Department programs could be felt acutely by Myanmar's earthquake victims, in a country now grappling with a humanitarian crisis. Meanwhile, in Thailand, hope is fading at the construction site, where dozens of workers were buried when the skyscraper collapsed moments after the earthquake hit. Rescue crews, with the help of cadaver dogs, continue to retrieve bodies as families keep vigil, refusing to lose faith their loved ones will be found alive. Anna Corrin, CBS News, Hong Kong.
And back here at home, those with family in Myanmar and Thailand are desperate to get in touch with their loved ones.
When I heard the news, I kind of shocked for a bit and tried to contact my family's member, because my mom lives in northern of Thailand, because she really close by the Myanmar border. So the earthquakes, the rocks, the center is over there. So I worry about my family for a bit. A lot of my friends, they keep trying to contact their family, even like the signal over there is not that backed up yet, so they still worry.
Meanwhile, Hawaii's Burmese community is rallying together to raise funds for those impacted by the devastating quake.
Especially we're needing like food, medicines, and the rescue teams to help the local community who are being affected in Myanmar. And this is the biggest earthquake we ever experienced in 100 years. As a social worker and mental health professional, I am providing the disaster stress helpline as well. So it's a 24 hours. We are providing emotional support for people who are going through trauma right now.
For more information on how to help, you can visit our website, hawaiinewsnow.com. More than 3 months after a drive-by shooting killed a West Oahu man, his family is calling for justice and action from prosecutors. 28-year-old Jonas Lawson was with a group of friends on Maliona Street on December 19th when gunshots rang out around 9 p.m. Honolulu police said the gunfire came from a white Toyota Camry that was driving past the group. HPD arrested 3 suspects after the shooting, but they were all released pending investigation. Lawson's mother says the healing process can't start while her son's killers are still on the loose.
Anything, any information, big, small, at least we know Jonah not being swept under the rug. We just take justice for my son.
Just watching them break down and not have any answers, and they have a lot of questions that's not getting answered.
The city prosecutor's office told H&N the case is still being actively investigated. Lawson's fatal shooting happened in the same area where 19-year-old Richiana de Guzman was shot and nearly killed 2 years ago. Her case also remains unsolved. The skateboarder who was involved in a traffic collision in Makakilo last Friday has died from his injuries. Honolulu police say the 38-year-old man was riding his skateboard in the street when he hit the back of a stopped car and then went into the path of another vehicle. He was rushed to a hospital with critical injuries. This is the 18th traffic fatality on Oahu so far this year. Happening today, the city will begin electrical upgrades at the Alapa'i bus facility. Most work will be done in the South King Street bike lane. Night and weekend work will be done at the intersection between Kapi'olani Boulevard and South King Street. Crews will still be working from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. A jury selection got underway today in Arizona for a new trial involving Lori Vallow Daybell, the woman convicted of killing her 2 children in Idaho. She is accused of plotting to kill her 4th husband, Charles Vallow, in 2019, and was arrested on Kauai the following year. Daybell's brother told police he shot Charles Vallow in self-defense after an altercation at Lori's Arizona home. In this trial, she has pleaded not guilty and is representing herself.
She is charged as a conspirator. The prosecution is trying to prove that Lori Vallow and her brother conspired together to kill her 4th of 5 husbands.
Vallow Daybell is serving life without parole for the murders of her children after they went missing in 2019. The bodies of JJ and Tylee were eventually found on the Idaho property of her fifth husband, Chad Daybell. He was sentenced to death for his role in the killings, though his attorney has filed an appeal over that sentence.
And happy Monday, everybody. Let's take another look at our first alert VOG forecast. Of course, we've got Kona winds outside, and those are going to continue over the next several days. It's keeping all of the VOG moving up towards the north of the island chain, but we'll start to see a little bit more southeasterly winds as we're going into Tuesday and Wednesday. So the VOG that's up to the north of the island chain right now will push back further westward, so impacting Maui County, Oahu, and Kauai. So it's going to be hazy throughout the first half of this week, and really we're going to continue to see these lighter winds up until about maybe Thursday or Friday. We've got a cold front that's going to be approaching the island chain, giving us a better chance for some rainfall. You can see the overall wind flow out there. Overall southeasterly winds, 20-mile-per-hour winds, and hilo out of the southeast. I'll give you a further breakdown on this and the better chance for rain coming up.
Thank you very much, Drew. Ahead on This Is Now, a new UH mapping system shows areas of fire risk in real time. How the tool can be a game changer for first responders. Plus,
the astronauts who spent an unexpected 9 months in space are detailing their experiences after returning to Earth. I'm Cristian Benavides with the lessons learned from their mission.
Welcome back. New wildfire risk maps show fire dangers throughout the state in real time. Scientists at the University of Hawaii at Manoa created the mapping system using data from various weather stations across the state, including the Hawaii Mesonet network. UH says this gives a more comprehensive and localized assessment of potential fire dangers than the current red flag warning system. This will allow communities and first responders to better predict and prepare for potential fires.
Next step is to do the real-time monitoring of vegetation humidity. And the next step is to install AI-based cameras to detect the smoke. So all these technologies together can help us a lot to prevent wildfire or, reduce the impact of wildfires.
The fire risk maps are available to the public. You can learn more about how to use them during a hybrid seminar at the Manoa campus tomorrow. The NASA astronauts who spent an unexpected 9 months in space are weighing in on their extended time in orbit. Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore held their first press conference since returning to Earth and reflected on how they're adjusting to gravity. Christian Benavides has more.
And splashdown. Crew 9 back on Earth.
For Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore, there's no place like home.
I wanted to hug my husband and hug my dogs. I had a good grilled cheese sandwich when I got home.
On Monday in Houston, the NASA astronauts held their first press conference since returning from the International Space Station following a 9-month stay in space.
Some happy waves, smiles all around.
For Wilmore, extended time in orbit meant he missed most of his daughter's senior year of high school.
This is the way we've trained our daughters from the time they were born, because their dad isn't a unique occupation, right? This is not the norm leaving the planet, and they understand that.
Both astronauts say they're adjusting to life on Earth. Williams says she's already running again.
I actually went out and ran 3 miles yesterday, so I will give myself a little pat on the back. Our trainers are rocking it.
Launched into orbit in June of 2024, their mission was originally scheduled to last just 8 days, but was repeatedly extended, the result of a series of mechanical and logistical challenges.
Merry Christmas!
In all, the astronauts spent 286 days in space. Wilmore says he shares responsibility for the unexpected extension of the mission with both NASA and Boeing, noting he should have asked more questions going into the mission.
There were questions that I, as the commander of the spacecraft, that I should have asked, and I did not. At the time, I didn't know I needed to. And maybe you could call that hindsight, but I'll start and point the finger and I'll blame me. I could have asked some questions, and the answers to those questions could have turned the tide.
Williams and Wilmore say 9 months in space was all in a day's work. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Coming up, a Leeward Oahu charter school is working to shape the next generation of island leaders through its unique curriculum. Take a visit to Dream House straight ahead.
And your 7-day forecast is coming up. We'll take a look at the fog forecast again and talk about the better chance for showers on the back half of this week.
First Alert Weather with Drew Davis.
Well, friends, gather around. It's time for your First Alert weather forecast. Let's take a look at our headlines. We've got foggy skies out there and also a better chance for rainfall and some showers over the western end of the state as we're going forward in the back half of this week. I want to break all of that down. Let's take a look at the overall weather pattern. Of course, fog still moving off to the south, of course, or to the north because of these southerly winds that we have outside right now. This is going to continue over the next several days. More southeasterly winds are expected by the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday, pushing all of that fog off to the west, so impacting Oahu and Kauai again. And of course, we're tracking this weak frontal boundary. This is not a cold front that you would typically think of, but it's going to bring some showers later this week. There's a higher chance for rainfall over the western western end of the state. And of course, Kona winds are going to continue because of that. And just a note, this rain is not going to be for everybody. Expect nuisance rainfall from it, scattered showers out there, and those Kona winds to continue. Again, we're going to keep tracking this as we get closer to the back half of this week, where we start to see that rainfall creeping in from the northwest. That front is going to fall apart over the western end of the state. Our winds outside right now, again, 20-mile-per-hour sustained winds out of the southeast in Hilo, 13 miles per hour in town. And we're actually seeing northerly winds in Kahului, so still a little bit variable out there at times. Breaking down your island by island forecast over on Kauai, still foggy out there. Southerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Again, we could see some gusty Kona winds out there at times. 20-mile-per-hour gusts expected out of the south on Oahu. Maui County, isolated showers afternoon, partly sunny as well. 85 for a high in Kahului, 86 in Kihei. It's warm out there. It's definitely humid as well. 85 in Kailua Kona. And you know they say it's not the heat that gets you, it's the humidity. Hilo, around 84 degrees, isolated showers and mostly sunny, and moving up to the northern portions of the Big Island, foggy as well, especially with the fog moving up towards the north. Your surf and shoreline forecast, north-facing shores around 2 to 4 feet. A west-northwest swell is expected on Tuesday. South-facing shores around 2 to 4 feet. A little bit messy out there because of the Kona winds. Our first alert 7-day forecast over the next couple of days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Hazy out there because of the fog. Better chance for some showers out there, especially as we get into the back half of this week because of that weak disturbance. Again, that's for the western end of the state. We're going to be watching that pretty closely. Stick around. We'll be right back after this short break.
Welcome back. A Westside charter school is doing some things a little bit differently and seeing some big results.
Dream House is focused on leadership, identity, and empowering students to think critically about the world around them. Casey Lund gives us a look at the impact it's having on the community.
Aloha from Kapolei. This is cool, and we're grateful to tell this story. Dream House Charter School actually started in Ewa Beach in different shopping centers there. They have a middle school in Kalailoa, but this is an awesome space. This is their new high school facility. It's right near the Social Security office out here in Kapolei, and you might have to bear with us. It's a little loud, but we wanted to do this report while we were having the kids here. You'll see them in a moment, but I want to introduce Terrence Brasso, lead coach here at Dream House Charter School. So tell me what is happening behind us there.
This is called Morning Mana'o, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. First thing in the morning, the staff come in here,
we kind of get our hearts and minds ready for the kids. It's all about character education for everything. Everything is to do with values, so we get our minds and hearts straight before we help them to get their minds here and present, so we can be together as one community.
It's got to be a hugely positive way to start your day, to get ready to learn. Tell me a little bit about Dream House Charter School. We've been kind of telling this story throughout the morning on Sunrise earlier, talking with Dr. Ryan and all the educators here, even some of the students. What makes this special? What makes this a different place to learn?
Well, you probably already heard that it's the charter, and the charter is the core values of the school, which is what I was hired to teach. There's 5 core values: identity, voice, commitment to community, consciousness, and servant leadership. And everything has to permeate what we do. Every decision, everything we teach, no matter what subject, has to permeate all 5 of those values.
You said you have been here, a coach. Again, you guys are coaches, not teachers. I love that. A couple of years as an educator. What do you like about being part of this? Because you know what I love about, we've been talking again with some of those folks that were founding members of this, the excitement, and to see it kind of grow now, 5-6 years into this, now you have this big space in Kapolei. What's it like to be a part of it?
Oh my gosh, it's like a startup. Every single one of us are like business owners because there's no blueprint for what we're doing. It's a brand new vision, we're connected to the state, we're accountable to the same things, but a whole different approach. And we have all that freedom. With that freedom comes a lot of creativity and a lot of work to make sure we're accomplishing our new vision with anchoring ourselves in the past as well. Combining those two things takes a lot of thought and energy, and it's fun though.
And it's thought that just goes into the physical layout of the space too. No walls, right? This is all meant to inspire collaboration and the students working together with folks in different classes all at the same time.
Yes, it provides great opportunities as well as great challenges. Yeah. Because you can hear everything. Yeah. So if somebody does one thing, you have a new Kuliano to think of, because one little thing affects everybody, not just a few. So it creates that challenge all the time. It has to be in the forefront of your mind. And when you forget, you get reminded really quick.
It sounds like the newsroom. There's a lot going on. Everybody's open in the space. So I want to thank you so much for being with us, Coach Terrence. The last thing, we're here for a reason, not just to feature this awesome thing. You guys have been here since November, but today's the last day to enroll. If folks want to learn more and just see what it's all about, they should go online, yeah?
Yes, please. Everything is there. Call and ask, and we're just available. We want anybody to come just tour, come check us out, and visit, see what we're all about.
I love it. Coach Terrence, and DreamHouseEvaBeach.org. Again, we're in Kapolei, but Dreamhouse started in Eva Beach, so that is the website if you'd like to learn more and apply. And what a great day we've had out here. Everybody's so welcoming, and a great story to tell. Dreamhouse Charter School. We'll send things back into the studio for now. Woo, it's loud in here.
Thanks, Casey. You probably heard of an emotional support animal before, usually a dog or cat that cheers people up.
This one is very unique in Iowa. It's not every day you see a skunk making visits to cheer people up. That's exactly what Mr. Sushi does. Mr. Sushi is a fully domesticated, descented skunk and is a registered emotional support animal. Iowa is one of 17 states where you can legally own a domesticated skunk. Fun fact, Drew Davis.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder what the descented process is.
Yeah. What is that exactly?